Hi, this is Mary Kay Zielinski, and I'm coming to you from the Tech Annex of the Blue Island Library, and I'm here to interview a few of the hosts for the racers from the 2007 St. Francis Hospital Blue Island Pro-Am. Hi, could you please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your experience as being a host?
Sure. I'm Tom Mantell, and I live on Greenwood Avenue, and we hosted 4 German writers.
I'm Tom Hawley, and we had a great time with them. They arrived on Wednesday. I wasn't there, but I was. By the time I got home on Friday, they were pretty much unpacked and made themselves comfortable. They seemed to be very nice, and they were having a good time when they were here. We were kind of interested in some of the food that they were. We had no idea what to expect as far as food. We thought they'd be like really into healthy food and fitness, and I guess they were doing things that were appropriate for what they were doing, but not exactly what we expected. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it was really interesting because I didn't know what to expect with them, and so I didn't actually go out shopping. But they came and they were very self-sufficient. They asked where the grocery store was. They had a car, and they went shopping and came back with just kind of normal food. They ate a lot of pasta and a little bit of fish and chicken, but otherwise they just had kind of normal diets, and they went out for a ride every day for about an hour. That was about all the exercise they did every day before the race, because they came in on Wednesday and their first race was on Friday evening in Beverly and then Saturday here in Blue Island. So they did a little exercise and then they relaxed a lot. They actually were sitting and reading and working on their computers, and so they were very connected with Germany. So it was interesting and a lot of fun. And they were, at the time the Tour de France was going on, so every day in the afternoon they were watching that, seeing what was going on in that.
They spoke mostly German between them, and then one of them seemed to be much better at speaking English than the other ones, although they all sort of understood, or they could all speak it pretty well, but I don't think they all pretty much understood what we were saying all the time, which was kind of evident because you'd be talking to somebody and then they'd have this like blank stare in their face, and then he'd turn to the one that actually, we called him the father figure because he, always seemed to be the one that was coordinating everything that was going on. But they'd look to him to translate, and then he'd answer. They'd answer him in German, and then he'd answer us. So it was interesting. They were nice. We went up to. They raced in Evanston the following weekend, and we went up there and we watched them race up there, and then we had dinner with them that night, and then they came back. They had left their cases and stuff at our house, which was kind of a little disconcerting when we got home after they had left and went into where they had kept them, and they were still there. And so we sort of emailed them and said, what's going on? When are you coming back? But they ended up coming back after the last race in Wisconsin, and they stayed overnight and then left at the end. So, and we've emailed them a few times back and forth, and actually they ended up pretty well in the race. I believe Christian or Sebastian ended up number 3 or 4. So it was good, and Christian actually won the sprints portion. So hopefully they did well, and they had to pay a lot out of their pockets to come here and race in this race. So the big thing is winning the preems and winning some of the sprints and stuff like that. So,
and they came in just for this 2 weeks of racing here. So they came in before the racing started. There was 2 weeks of racing, and they left to go back home after that. So it was just a trip for this. But we were talking to them, and they're all professional cyclists, and that's what they do full-time, year-round. So during the nice weather, they race outside, and in the wintertime, they race in Europe inside. So it's really interesting that that's all they do. And we were talking to them about their bicycles, and it's amazing how much money is spent on those kinds of things, although they have sponsors for some of that. But it was really interesting, and I think that it was really nice to see the neighborhood really came out for it, and there were quite a few people in the neighborhood who had cyclists stay with them. And there were parties and dinner parties in the neighborhood to welcome. I think that they were a little surprised at how much was going on because they were there and for them. So it was a lot of fun for them, and it was a lot of fun for us too.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience as a host?
Sure. My name is Earl Summers, and I live here in Blue Island on Greenwood Avenue. And I have a friend who we own a house together, Andrew Nell, and we were asked if we wanted to host some of the riders for the race, and we agreed, and it was really a very pleasant experience, a learning experience. We had two Australians live with us, Peter Dawson and Darren Harry, and they were very, very nice guys. They were Australians, as I said. It was just fun, a very interesting experience. Our guys came in on Thursday about midday, and we, when they arrived, we introduced ourselves, obviously, and kind of got a feel for what they were planning to do. Their routine basically was to go riding every day, and for about an hour, and then they came back and they rested. And then they watched TV too. They watched some of the races that were going on, but it was a really nice experience. So on Saturday night we had a party, and we invited our friends down the street, Tom, and the four Germans that they had riders that they had living with them, and plus we had a lot of other people who turned out. So it was a nice little get together, kind of a celebration after the race. And backing up a bit, on Friday, it was a new experience for us. Andrew and I went to the races in Beverly, which is part of Chicago, and that was the first time we'd done that. And our bike riders, or the Australians who were living with us, were in the race, and they did fairly well. But it was just fun doing that. We have been in touch with them since they left, and they said how much they appreciated, staying with us and interacting with us. And as far as their diet, they just ate regular food. I mean, they didn't have any special things that they couldn't eat. One night we had, I went out and picked up a couple of steaks and baked potatoes, and we just had that for supper. They did go to the health food store, and they came back with these huge containers of protein mix, which they had every day. They let me sample one. It tastes like a milkshake, but I guess it's very high in protein because the way that they exercise and the energy that it takes to ride in a race, be in a race for an hour or longer, it's just amazing. But so they have to be in peak condition. I wish it was had half the conditioning, or was in half the condition that they were in. But other than that, as I said, we've heard from them. We keep in touch, and we said that if they were ever in the area, or if hopefully we will be racing. Blue Island will be hosting the race for the next 2 years, or 3 years total. So we told them that if they wanted to stay with us again, they'd be more than welcome. And so that's about it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.